Nutrients for stroke?
There are at least 13 nutrients that affect our risk for stroke and 32 nutrients that affect our risk for cardiovascular disease more broadly. So let's just focus in on 3 of them for this video. And if you're interested in learning about all of these nutrients, then check out my Nutrients for Stroke ebook available in my Patreon. Let's look at how dietary potassium, magnesium, and vitamin C affect our risk for stroke. We have a number of meta-analyses that show that consuming at least 3,500 milligrams of potassium per day reduces risk of stroke from anywhere between 13% and 30%. And with potassium, it also matters what the ratio is between dietary potassium and dietary sodium. Ideally, we would consume at least as much potassium as we do sodium. And for example, studies show that if our sodium intake is double our potassium intake, that increases risk of stroke by 22%. People with higher dietary magnesium have a 12% lower risk of a stroke compared to people with low dietary magnesium. And studies show that for every 100 milligrams of magnesium we consume daily, which is like a quarter to a third of the recommended dietary intake, our risk of stroke decreases by 7%. People with higher concentrations of vitamin C in their blood have a 30% reduced risk of stroke compared to people with lower concentrations of vitamin C. And for example, for every 100 milligrams of vitamin C we consume daily, which is a little bit over the daily value, our risk of stroke decreases by 8%. I know it's tempting to hear about these 3 nutrients and want to run out and buy supplements. But remember, these are just 3 of the 13 nutrients that affect our risk for having a stroke, and just 3 of the 32 nutrients that affect our risk of cardiovascular disease more broadly. And that's why Nutrivore is such a powerful dietary approach, because the goal is to get all of the nutrients our bodies need from the foods we eat. If you're interested in learning more about Nutrivore, I recommend grabbing a copy of my book. And if you're interested in learning about all of the nutrients that affect our risk of stroke, check out my Nutrients for Stroke ebook available in my Patreon.